right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Clouds have started to increase just before sunset, and we've seen this, the culprit, when this brings our next chance for rain and the rainiest day we're expecting this week.
Thick black smoke billowing from North St. Louis. The fire spotted as far as Maryland Heights. The gift that's giving life the green light.
Our life together is going to be so much different, looking forward to the future.
A life saved thanks to a heart transplant. Good evening, everyone. I'm Robert Townsend. Brent Solomon has the night off. We've got a gorgeous weekend ahead of us, but some showers are on the way. Meteorologist Gary Frame joining us now with our first weather impact look. Gary?
Yeah, good evening. As we continue to look down Market Street, so quiet. Clouds have noticeably increased over the last few hours, but I don't really think that we're going to have too much of an issue, not only overnight, but tomorrow as we see the cloud cover that we talked about. And this is what's been kind of with us throughout the day. Notice how that rain has kind of fallen apart, and it will continue to do so. But this is part of a larger impulse, which will give us opportunities as long as it's around. And we reach the heat of the day, which we're obviously not in right now, but it's starting to moisten up the atmosphere just a little bit. It's been pretty dry, and that's why you'll see our dew points are back in the 60s now, and that's a little more uniform. Keep in mind, the last couple of days, these numbers have been in the low 50s, and that's why it's been able to drop so much overnight, and it hasn't felt very humid. We still do have a north flow at around 3 miles an hour, so that northerly flow has at least kept us from warming up too much. But like I mentioned, the humidity is up a little bit, and so is the cloud cover. Into the rest of the overnight hours, we'll drop, and then we'll fall into the 60s, but I don't think there's too much of an issue for tomorrow. We'll pinpoint the specific hours that I think that whole system is going to create our best chance for rain as we talk to you again in about 10 minutes.
St. Louis firefighters were busy today tackling a couple of multi-alarm fires. Here's a look at one that caused thick black smoke to plume over the St. Louis skyline this afternoon after a North City warehouse caught fire. The second alarm fire happened at a recycling facility on Hall Street. Now, according to crews there, that smoke could be seen as far away as Maryland Heights. Investigators tell us it's due to what was burning there.
Because of the plastic, there's a lot of plastic pipe down there. It looked like they were grinding up the pipe to recycle it, a lot of tires. So that a lot of hydrocarbons, so the smoke was deep, dark, and heavy. So that's what we attribute all this to. We have no heavy winds, so the smoke just basically went straight up, dissipated, and it's gone.
The fire department says it found no hazardous materials in the smoke itself, but there were several explosions on site as crews battled those flames. No one was hurt. Investigators are still trying to find out what started the fire. St. Louis City firefighters fought another two-alarm fire, this one on West Florissant Avenue. Flames shot through the roof of the three-story commercial building. Crews needed to keep their distance from the burning building in case of a possible collapse. Now, it took 6 master streams and 3 aerial waterways to put out the fire. No one was hurt in that fire either. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. Tonight, we're trying to learn more about a deadly shooting in South St. Louis, rather that's St. Louis's Baden neighborhood. It happened around 2 this afternoon on Wall Street. Police responding to the scene. You see there, after getting calls for a shooting, they went there and found a man dead. Homicide detectives are investigating. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. This morning, St. Louis radio personality Tammy Holland died after a 3-year battle with cancer. Her sister broke the news online, remembering Holland as a loving sister and mother. Holland showed her courage throughout her battle to thousands of people, followers on social media, hoping to spread awareness. Now, many of those fans are expressing their love now on social media. Tammy Holland was 53 years old. Today, the family of a little boy who drowned at a summer camp honored his memory. It's been 2 years to the day since TJ Mister passed away in St. Louis County. His parents held an event for friends and family to remember him as they pushed to make sure what happened to their son never happens again.
It's very necessary to ask the right questions and make sure that your kids are safe. You know, this was a totally preventable tragedy, so we want to make sure that this doesn't happen to another family. You know, we lost our son today. Make sure that doesn't happen to you.
TJ's parents set up a swim scholarship in his honor and are now calling on Missouri lawmakers to pass stronger regulation for summer camps. One of the largest free expos in the state kicked off for its 25th year downtown this morning. The expo is a collaboration between the Urban League and St. Louis Public Schools, making sure families are ready ahead of the first day of school. Now, they provided free supplies, backpacks, food, and even haircuts and manicures. Families could also get information about home ownership, energy assistance, and a lot more.
People are able to get all of this in a one-stop shop. It makes life so much easier for them because everybody's busy with their jobs and trying to raise families and take care of kids and trying to do everything that they have to do in their day-to-day life. So this is an opportunity for us to pull everything together in one space so that people can find out how they can make improvements to their lives.
The Urban League said it expected to help nearly 25,000 people over the course of the day. Green lights in Dogtown this week were flipped on to commemorate the life-saving gift of a heart transplant and the Missouri husband whose life it saved after years of heart failure. New tonight, Annie Kroll sits down with his wife less than 72 hours after the man on the brink of death now has a future.
On Tuesday, Jim Cunningham drove almost 4 hours with his wife Andrea from their home in Nixa to St. Louis, hoping they'd get a very important call.
It was raining that day, traffic was really bad. Everything I did, it was taking 10 times as long to do it, but it all led me to be there Tuesday evening whenever we received word that he had received a heart.
Andrea says he'd been looking very ashen the last few days.
How different would this conversation be if Jim hadn't gotten a transplant?
If we were not provided this opportunity, I truly believe he would not be here.
A life-saving gift commemorated this week with the Light It Green event, Green Lights, outside Mid-America Transplant's family house in Dogtown, along with other homes across the country to mark Jim's milestone and honor the donor's heart that now beats in his chest.
You know that somebody else is losing somebody, and I know that's hard, So I pray for the family. I pray that they have peace and comfort. But what they've done is they have given my husband new life.
Kevin Lee is the CEO of Mid-America Transplant, housing hundreds in St. Louis during recovery, and transplanted about 800 organs last year throughout Missouri, Southern Illinois, and Northeast Arkansas.
What's striking to me about Jim and Andrea's story is that once he was listed, he was able to receive that life-saving heart transplant within 30 days.
About 220 families have stayed here at the family house off of Lloyd Avenue since its expansion in June of 2022, allowing for private space rather than communal living as the Cunninghams get their new life on track.
My daughter is dating somebody, he's going to be, there to walk her down the aisle. Just those life events that happen, he's going to be there now.
Reporting in Dogtown, Annie Kroll, 5 on your side.
Mid-America Transplant says 17 Americans die every single day waiting for an organ transplant. Now, if you're interested in learning more about becoming a donor, you can visit our website at KSDK.com. CrowdStrike scams.
This is not an issue that's going to be with us forever, but it's not an issue that's just going away.
What to watch out for as the world gets back online. Car cool downs.
The faster the engine turns, the faster the AC compressor runs.
We've got some tips on how to summer-proof your car.
Despite our rain chances around, it looks like it's going to impact us very, very briefly. But we'll try to time out the best opportunities for rain on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and it will return to 90 degrees again.
As the world slowly gets back online following this week's CrowdStrike update failures, cybersecurity experts warn criminals are already trying to take advantage of the situation. Scammers are now using fake recovery websites carrying malware to take advantage of unsuspecting victims.
Don't rely on inbound calls, don't rely on emails and all the things which are known by scam artists. Miscreants are looking through this software looking for problems which they can then deploy globally.
The CrowdStrike glitch is still impacting flights across the country. According to FlightAware, nearly 6,000 flights faced delays today, and more than 1,600 were canceled altogether. Former President Donald Trump and his VP pick, J.D. Vance, held their first rally together today in Grand Rapids. It's the first Trump rally since he survived last week's assassination attempt. Security has been reassessed by the Secret Service following fears there may be a copycat shooter. Now, at the rally, Trump spoke out about the assassination attempt, receiving letters from Chinese President Xi Jinping and Project 25, which he says was developed, quote, by the radical right.
It's Project 25. He's involved in Project, and then they read some of the things, and they are extreme. I mean, they're seriously extreme. But I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it.
The rally comes as CNN polling found the former president is leading in an approval ratings poll among voters under 30. Many young voters cite economic policy as their reason for shifting red. Tomorrow night, our political editor, Mark Maxwell, has a look at Trump's Republican Party takeover at this week's national convention. You can catch it on his show, The Record, Sunday, right after Sports Plus.
Quiet conditions outside right now as we head into the overnight hours. A little bit warmer. We'll talk about why that is, if that's a trend that continues, and if we'll see 90 degrees anytime soon.
Well, we all know the feeling of getting into a hot car that's parked outside on an extremely hot day. The inside can be stifling and downright uncomfortable, but is cranking the AC on full blast really the best way to keep you cool? Expert at Consumer Reports shares some tips for fast and fuel-efficient car cooling. Here's Mike Bush.
Need to cool down your car quickly? Despite what you might think, this isn't the time to use your car's automatic start. That's according to Consumer Reports car expert Mike Quincy.
Your car's air conditioning works much better when you're actually driving, because the faster the engine turns, the faster the AC compressor runs, which lets the system cool more effectively.
It is also more efficient since the engine will use less fuel. Once you hit the road, turn on the air conditioner and open all the windows for 10 to 20 seconds. Crank the fan. Once cold air starts flowing through the vents, roll up the front windows, but keep the rear ones cracked open for another 10 to 20 seconds. This pulls cold air to the back of the car. If you have passengers in the back seat, turn off recirculation mode so the air in the back doesn't get stale and hot. Then,
adjust the AC temperature to its lowest setting and make adjustments to the fan speed and direction to keep you comfortable. This will actually make the AC efficient, will dry out the air more, and can save some fuel.
Another tip, if you're stuck in stop-and-go traffic on your way to the beach and you've got a newer car with an auto start-stop system, you might want to turn it off. While this feature saves fuel by shutting off the engine while you're stopped, it may also shut off the car's AC compressor, which you'll need to keep you cool.
Now, just as you should check AC filters at home, Consumer Reports says you should also check your car's cabin air filter to make sure it's clean. A dirty filter prevents optimal airflow. Replacing them is usually inexpensive and simple to do yourself. Famous Footwear held a Foster family shopping spree to help out ahead of the back-to-school shopping season. Kids got to pick out a free pair of shoes, socks, backpacks, school supplies, and a lot more. Not only does this event help relieve financial barriers for families,
but also to give kids who are in foster care really great experiences. So sometimes these are things that they don't get to participate in, or they don't get to be the kid who comes to school in a new pair of Nikes. So things like this really make it possible for them to have that fun and build that self-esteem throughout the year.
Since 2020, Ticket to Dreams collaboration with Famous Footwear has raised over $10 million to help more than 420,000 kids across the country get the school supplies they need. Today was a picture-perfect day for that event. Gary, everybody wants to know, will this nice streak continues?
Yeah, we're doing our best here as we continue to stay in the mid-80s for now, but right now as we look outside, for the most part, it is quiet as we head into the overnight hours. This is statistically the hottest period of the year, and you know what? It's not that warm at all. Now, as you look outside, nearly the full buck moon. We got this from Chris outside. You can start to see the color, that hint as the moon is rising. This is just a little before from Catherine. So some pretty nice, good looks at the full moon, or pretty close to it here at maybe 98, 99%. And then the just thin veil of cloud cover that's kind of worked its way across. That will only continue to increase as we still look outside. It is quiet here at this hour as temperatures holding steady at around 75 degrees. We have a north breeze at 3 miles an hour. And what we'll continue to look at here overall is quiet conditions overall as we hold steady into the mid-70s. What I do expect here as we continue to monitor temperatures here holding steady in the mid-70s is that, as we head into the overnight hours, I really think that things, for the most part, are going to be on the quiet side. And that's going to be key for us here as we move forward here, as we continue to look at pretty decent conditions overall, even dark in some cases here. And that's what I think we're going to continue to see here as things remain on the quiet side. What we're going to look at here as we see things, I would expect that temperatures are going to stay on the quiet side here as things look up there for the most part. I really do think that we're going to deal with a little bit of rain here overall. And for the most part, as we head into the next several hours, things are much quieter here as we head into the overnight hours. Temperatures will hold steady as we head into the overnight hours, back into the 60s. And that's going to be a key for us here as we look ahead into the 67-degree range, 66 at Scott Air Force Base, 66 in Sparta. So that's what we're looking at here over the next several hours. Now, I do think it's more cloudy as the sun sets here. And for tomorrow, temperatures are holding steady and they go into the low 80s. What I do expect is this storm that's going to kind of hang around, bring cloud cover, and you'll notice how it's starting to fall apart. That's what we're dealing with over the next few days. And I think that we may start to see a few showers and storms that kind of hang around. They'll look a lot like this. Maybe not necessarily tomorrow. I don't think this reaches the surface, but we'll see storms and showers like this, perhaps not Monday afternoon, not so much Tuesday, but maybe early on Wednesday. So for the next few days, it'll be quiet as we have this is a 15 to 30-minute rain at best, and some of you will stay dry completely. So for the next 7 days, 83, 84, 87, we're close to 90 degrees. And then eventually over the next several hours, we're going to stay just a little milder as we're in the mid-60s here overall, and things start to get up a little warmer as that humidity picks up.
Gary, thanks a lot. Corey, what's up next in sports?
Well, we had double the baseball fun today down in Atlanta, and we had a City SC debut against their arch rivals in Kansas. Sports is on deck after the break.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
Well, the reward for our 6 long days without Cardinals baseball was a doubleheader in Atlanta to kick off the second half. And if today was a preview for any drama we may see to round out this season, well, we're in for a treat. Sonny Gray got the start in the nightcap against the Braves, and get used to this theme. The ball leaving the ballpark. Tied at 1 in the second, and Nolan Gorman's 2-run shot makes it 3-1. That's his 18th of the season. Cards up 5-1 in the fourth, and it's old friend Marcelo Zuna's turn. He obliterates that baseball. 5-2 Cardinals. Back to St. Louis's turn. Brendan Donovan. He's going to get in on the action. He blasts one out to right. 6-2 Cardinals. I told you there's a theme here. Braves turn again. They go back-to-back. Ozuna with his second moonshot of the day, followed by an Eddie Rosario blast. At that point, it's 6-5 Cardinals. Sonny powered through it, 7 innings, 5 runs, 10 strikeouts for him tonight. Cards got some late insurance, and Kyle Leahy came in and finished it off. Cardinals win the nightcap 9-5. 3 RBIs each for Alec Burleson and Brendan Donovan, and Donnie has really been taking to hitting in that 5-hole.
And he does a nice job of just giving you a gritty at bat, putting the ball in play, and taking a good approach based on the situation. He's not going to punch out much, and he just has a knack for driving in runs. He doesn't have a whole lot of swing and miss in his game, so for that reason, having him there has worked.
Kyle Gibson was on the hill for Game 1 this afternoon, and he was superb. 6 2/3, 6 strikeouts. A Nolan Arenado power surge would do wonders in the second half. He gets his 9th of the year. That made it 2-0 at that point. However, Ryan Fernandez gave up a game-tying 2-run home run to Eddie Rosario in the 7th inning. And then later in extras, Ozzie Albies would come through with a 10th inning sac fly to hand the Braves a 3-2 win in Game 1.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
Forget the fact that the 2 teams matching up on the pitch in Kansas tonight were the 2nd and 3rd to last teams in the MLS Western Conference standings. It doesn't matter. It's a rivalry game when City SC and Sporting KC get together, and it sure felt like it tonight. City supporters came out in droves on the road in Kansas. No surprise there. It was a City SC debut for new midfielder Cedric Toykert, and he made an impact immediately. Just look at this run he went on at the start of the game. Yeah, I think that's going to play in St. Louis. This always plays. Roman Berkey making crazy saves and a little wry smile for the competition there. 42nd minute. Watch Noki Thorson stick with this play. He refuses to give up, and he's going to get rewarded. Last one into the net. That puts City on top. What a goal. 73rd minute now. City still cling to the 1-0 lead until William Agata hits the flying header. That tied things up. Surprise, surprise, we end in a 1-1 draw. City's league-leading 11th tie of the season.
To give up the goal that equalizes it the way that we gave it up, that's going to sting for a long time. Third game in a week, so there's a lot of positives out of it. And at the same time, I think we're bitterly disappointed that we didn't get all three.
Caitlin Clark and the WNBA All-Stars against Nafisa Collier and Team USA tonight in Phoenix. I think the All-Stars had something to prove. Angel Reese had a double-double. Erica Ogumanale had an All-Star record 34 points. And the WNBA All-Stars beat Team USA 117-109. Round 3 of the Open in Scotland. Billy Horschel leads at 4 under heading into the final round. But this was the shot of the day. Siwoo Kim through the rain onto the green and eventually into the hole for an ace. That is the longest hole-in-one in Open history. You can watch the final round tomorrow right here on 5 on Your Side.
All right, Corey, thanks. Well, that will do it for us tonight at 10. Saturday Night Live is just ahead. Have a great night, everybody.